Hello, my name is Preston Biggs. Last year, 2018, I decided that I didn't like the way that my blood pressure medicine and my cholesterol pills were making me feel. So what I did was I decided to go into an exercise program that I developed for me and see if I could get off those pills. Well, January of 2019, I started on this program, and this is November of 2019, and I have been off those pills for 6 months. I don't take those pills anymore. I do take general vitamin pills and that sort of thing, but here's another thing. I didn't change my diet. I like sugar, I like sweets, I do all that stuff. I eat chocolate, I drink sodas, I do all the things that they tell you never to do. But because I got active and did do those the things that I wanted to do that made me feel good, then I can tell you that the exercise program worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. So I want to show you what I did and to start off and where I'm at today, and that way you can I can show you a beginning and the end. Okay? Stay tuned.
Okay, first of all, you have to be able to get on the ground to do this, so if you can't do that, you may want to find some other method of getting this stuff done. I use very simple methods to do my exercise program simply because I didn't want to buy a lot of equipment. So what I do is I do push-ups. Now if you can't do push-ups, there's a couple of ways that you can do things to do exactly the same thing, get the results, and build yourself up to the point where you can do a push-up. What I started off was this. I would get on my knees on a mat like this, and then I would go down and I would push up. Okay. When I started off, I didn't go that low. What I would do is I would go right here like this, and I would go okay, and then I would stop. I'd rest a while, and then I would do it again. But that's what I started off doing. So just get on your knees and do a little push up there. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. You don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. Eventually you do want to do those, but not now. So now what I do is I do a full push up, down and up, down and up, down and up. And I do 30 to 35 of those, and I do 3 sets. The next thing I did, because my stomach was too big, okay, and it didn't look right, I just didn't like it. So what I did was I do what's called a crunch, which is just pulling up like this, tightening up the stomach. Pull up, release, pull up and release. Now those are really easy. You can do them anywhere. You can even do them standing up. It works the upper part of your stomach. The lower part of your stomach has to be worked using the legs. So what I did was I do a kick like this until I get tired. That does 2 things. It works the upper part of your leg, a little bit of the back of the leg, but not that much. And you can do that until you get tired, and you can do something else. So I do those. I do 150 of the crunches at the top, and I do 100 to 150 of the lower crunches as well. But you have to build up to that. Remember that. The next thing I had to do was work on this. It had what's called cottage cheese. I didn't like that. So what I did was I just started doing this, just like this, and I would do that until my muscle got tight. And now believe me, I was not very strong at that time, so I would do that. And eventually I added weight, and you can add any kind of weight that you want. If you have something around the house that you want to use as a weight, you can do that. As long as you can grip it and pull it up like that, you're okay. I had these little strap things. I've had these for a long time, years and stuff. So that's what I started using after a while. Now I built myself up to barbell weights. So this is what I use now, doing the same thing. Up to the chest and back down, just like this. Okay?
simple exercise, but it helps build this area. I have been doing this for the next one for many years, but it really does help firm up a little bit, because see, even with those weights and the other things that I was doing, it didn't get this area. Okay, so I decided that I needed to do something different. So what I did is I took some old deals that I used to do years ago, and I would just come around. It's like this. Just bring the hand up off this, the elbow up, and bring it across like this. Okay, and then bring it up like this, because you want a range of motion, but you also want to be able to firm up this area. So that's what I would do, just like this. You do those until you get tired. Right now I do 300 of those per set, and I do 3 sets a day. The next thing that I do is a program that I developed on my own. I don't know anybody else that does this, but I take my hands like this, I put them above each other, and I make a circle with them like this, leaving my elbows up and my everything else up. And what that does, the back of the arms and the upper part of the chest and the neck. So you do that just like this until you get tired, and then you do it the other direction. That does 2 things. Number one, it helps get your muscles used to being worked up there, but it also builds dexterity. You try to make sure that your hands don't touch, keep them separated, go slow, and then later on you can go as fast as you want. Build up to those speeds, build up to those exercises, something that makes you feel good. Believe me, if you go slow with this, it'll take longer to get there, but it'll still have really good results. And the next thing I do is, I started off with these, but if you can't do a hand press or something like that, do this. Just close your fist, hold it for a second, and open it all the way closed, all the way open. Because that helps with this part of your arm. It helps build your the dexterity of your muscles and your fingers and that sort of thing. If you can't make a complete fist, do what you can without pain. Try not to be painful in anything that you do, because eventually, if you move it enough, unless you have a disability, then you'll be able to get to closing that completely, and eventually you'll be able to get into something with more resistance. Now these, they have the same resistance, so I started off with like 10 or something like that, and then right now I think I'm up to 70 per, and I do 3 sets of that. Now the next section, I don't know if you can do this or not, but if you have any kind of band system or anything that you can get your hands on, those are usually pretty cheap. If you can't do those, there is something else that I'm talking about that I can show you to do. But this is a Tower 200. I bought this many years ago, and what I do is I bring this down like this. I put my hands up like this, and I bring them down and I hold them. When I started out, as you can see, there's 2 bands on there now, but there's small band, there's a small band, larger band, so that you can build up to the strength and resistance that you want. But holding them is also a distance, a time period as well, because there's a count or a time period that I use to make sure that I hold them for a certain amount of time. I think I started off counting 10 or 15 seconds, and then I would count up to 40 or 50 now. The one other thing that I would do is that I do as an exercise is I turn around and do this one, and I bring it down like this and hold it for this. Okay, when I do the back exercise too, it helps with the back muscles, and I bring that down here as a tension, and then I hold that for spirit. I think I started off like 10 or 15 seconds there, and now I'm up to 40 to 50 seconds. Sometimes a minute, but I do those 3 times a day as well. Now that is my 3-time program. You can start off with absolutely no weight. Now with the tensioner, what I was going to tell you about doing something other than getting bands, okay? One hand on top of the other, push down and hold it, and to a count. And what you're doing is you're tensioning this arm here, but you're also doing this one as well. So you don't have to have the bands, but you can cause that kind of a situation. And for the back, all you do is something like this and pull. And what that'll do is that'll help with the back. So that's a way you can get around having to use any type of band system or anything like that. I like this one because I can adjust the tensions, but you can do that as well. This one right here and this one. Okay? So again, my name is Preston Biggs. I call this exercise program the Old Man's Exercise Program. So if you have any questions, you can contact me at biggsandbiggsllc@gmail.com. If you like it, please like below. Make your comments there as well. Love to hear from you. Chat with you soon.